We have a night, which is tonight. Maybe you have seen some of the masajid, they've got ribbons and flashing light, and they're waiting now for 12 o'clock. They're lining up maybe people for the prayer when it's 11:58, 11:59, 60 seconds on. It is 12 o'clock, Allahu Akbar. They're making a prayer for the midnight of, that is Shabarat. You visit Shab-Barat? Shab-Barat. Arabs, they don't know that. Pakistani, Shab-Barat? Shab-Barat, yes? Shab-Barat. Shab-Barat is a night for them. Is a night even equivalent to the 27th of Ramadan, which is the night of Al-Qadr. Shab-Barat is a night where it's called the night of midnight of Sha'baan. Ikhwani, there is a hadith sahih, authentic hadith, regarding the virtues and the excellence of this night. But there is no way that there's a hadith or any narrations from the Prophet or the companion that they did specify a ibadah into that night or the following day. That hadith, which is authenticated by mighty scholars. Some of the scholars, they made it unauthentic. It's not authentic. But those scholars who made it not authentic, they're not as great in hadith knowledge as the one who made it authentic. So the hadith is authentic with no doubt or single shadow of a doubt. And that is, Prophet ﷺ, he said, ينزل الله تبارك وتعالى ليلة النصف من شعبان إلى السماء الدنيا فيغفر لجميع خلقه إلا إنسان في قلبه شحناء أو مشرك بالله عز وجل. Allah Azza wa Jal, the Almighty, He will descend to the nearest heaven on the night of the midnight of Sha'baan. In the night of the midnight of Sha'baan, which is tonight. This is tonight. Today was the 14th of Sha'baan, so tonight is the what? The 15th. Because the night, it precedes the day. Tomorrow is the 15th day of Sha'baan, so the night before it will be the 15th night of Sha'baan. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said, Allah will descend down. A descendance which is suitable to His Majesty. Allah Azza wa Jal, He descends whenever He wants to descend. And He doesn't need to descend to achieve what He wanted to achieve. But His descendance indicates there's something maybe very important about the night or the place or whatever. So the Prophet ﷺ, he said, Allah will descend. Not only that, Allah descends in every single night on the last third of the night. So if it is the case, so what's so special about the midnight of Sha'baan? The scholars, they said, this descendance of the midnight of Sha'baan is a descendance plus. There's a plus with it. What is the plus here? We'll see. In the nights of all the nights, in the last third of the night, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He descends, He will ask those people who are supplicating, asking, or seeking forgiveness. So you should be awake at that third and last of the night in order to get the benefit of that descendants of the Almighty. Where is Prophet ﷺ said, Allah will descend and He would say, "Man yas'aluni fa'atiya." Who's going to ask me and I will grant him? "Man yastaghfiruni fa'aghfir lah." Who's seek my forgiveness and I will forgive for him? "Man yad'uni fa'astajib lah." Who supplicates to me and I will fulfill his supplication. Whereas that is the midnight is different. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He said, وَبِالْأَسْحَارِ هُمْ يَسْتَغْفِرُونَ. And they seek forgiveness when? In the ashar, sahur, last third of the night. That's the night, the particular portion of the night, where if you are happen to be making your qiyam, making your dua, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will fulfill the supplication of yours. How do you calculate the last third of the night? Very easy. What time is the Maghrib? What time is the Fajr? Divide that into 3 segments. So what time is the Maghrib at the moment? At the moment the Maghrib is about 6 o'clock. Let's say just 6 o'clock, just for the sake of calculation. And what time with the Fajr? 5 o'clock, for the sake of calculation. From 6 to 5, it's just around that time, exactly anyway. For example, today it was the Fajr exactly 4:59 or 5:01 exactly today. That's in High Wycombe, not 4:39. I was citing the Fajr today in High Wycombe, as I cited most of the days, because today, mashallah, it was clear skies, mashallah, and I've recorded it. The Fajr came at 5:01. So let's say from 6 to 5, how many hours? 11 hours. How much is that? The third of that divided by 3. That's about what? Come on, 3 hours and something. About just let's say 4 hours. For the sake of calculation, 4 hours. So 4 hours, first part of the night, first third. Second 4 hours, that is the second third. The last third, this is what I want, the last 4 hours. So add 8 hours into the time of what? Maghrib, how much is that? That's 2 o'clock in the morning. So from 2 o'clock, quarter to 2, that's the last third. At the moment, it's not, don't stick to that time. It changes. Summer and winter, it changes. So quarter to 2, that's when the last third of the night starts. This is where the person should be making his qiyam. You could make the qiyam before, but this is the time, special time, most rewardable. Now, in the midnight of Sha'baan, you could be sleeping. You don't have to be awake. Because this is called descendants plus. The plus is Allah will forgive you. Whether you are seeking forgiveness, whether you are asking, whether you're not asking, whether you are seeking requests or you're not seeking requests, whether you're sleeping, whether you're praying, doesn't make a difference. Allah will forgive for you. And that forgiveness excludes 2. Excluding, number 1, the exception is mushrik. Mushrik is a kafir, ikhwani. وَمَن يُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ فَقَدْ حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ الْجَنَّةِ. He who does make shirk in Allah, Allah will make Jannah what? Haram on him. وَمَأْوَاهُ النَّارُ وَمَا لِلظَّالِمِينَ مِنْ أَنصَارٍ. And his abode will be hellfire. And there will be no helpers for the people who are ظالمون. إِنَّ الشِّرْكَ ظُلْمٌ عَظِيم. That's what Luqman, he said to his son, يَا بُنَيْ لَا تُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ. O son, do not commit shirk with Allah. Because shirk is the greatest of all crimes. Greatest of all dhulm, oppression. Okay? وَمَا يُشْرِكْ بِاللَّهِ فَكَأَنَّمَا خَرَّ مِنَ السَّمَاءِ. The one who does shirk with Allah, it is like he had been dropped down from the heaven. فَتَخْطَفُهُ الطَّيْرُ أَوْ تَهْوِي بِهِ الرِّيحُ فِي مَكَانٍ سَحِيقٍ. That the bird will snatch him, or he will be thrown in a deep valley by the wind. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ لَا يَغْفِرُ يُشْرَكَ بِهِ وَيَغْفِرُ مَا دُونَ ذَلِكَ لِمَن يَشَاءُ. Allah does not forgive any person commits shirk in him, but he forgives anything what? Below than that. Anything below the shirk will be forgiven. But shirk, no. No forgiveness. Major shirk, outside the fold of Islam. Minor shirk, some of the scholars said, it will not be forgiven. Yes, it will not be outside the fold of Islam, but you will be punished for it. That means you're going to be going to the fire. So it's not under the will of Allah to be forgiven, even the minor shirk. And that's the saying of Shaykh al-Islam ibn Taymiyyah. It's a very strong saying. Even the minor shirk, ikhwan, it will not be forgiven. So be careful. Minor shirk is more sin in the sight of Allah than major sin. Like major than fornication, more sinful than adultery, more sinful than drinking wine. Minor shirk, because you are making another deity with the Almighty subhanahu wa ta'ala. Your riya, showing off, you're not really satisfying the Lord, you're satisfying the people. Then let the people go and satisfy on the day of resurrection. Let them give you the reward, and I don't think you're going to give you a reward. They will be seeking themselves help. How can you seek help from somebody who's seeking help? طيب. This mushrik is exempted. He will not be included in this mercy of Allah Azza wa Jal. And that will be included in the forgiveness of Allah Azza wa Jal. Second one, a person who's got عدد قال في قلبه شحناء, grudge, a malice towards his brothers for the dunya issues, not for the deen. It's for the deen is different. So if you're a person, you are seen him an innovator, you told him, brother, fear Allah, you're making an innovation, and still he's getting closer to Allah Azza wa Jal through innovation, then we are allowing you to boycott him, but use the boycott as a medicine. Meaning, don't boycott him, that is boycott him from your dua, may Allah drop him in hell. What is this? Yeah, boycott him from, that is communication. But don't boycott him from your dua. Ask Allah to guide him. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But boycotting him is to, number one, make him awake. Look, I'm not going to associate myself to you because you are making an innovation. Number two, is for your sake. You don't want to be affected with that bid'ah of his. You don't want to be following that innovation of his. That's the boycotting. It's a medicine. Use it at the right time, in the right place, with the right amount. Too much of it will kill. Little bit of it is not going to be working. So use it in the right method. That's the boycotting. So this person who you are boycotting for the sake of the dunya, settle your account before tonight. Well, we've still got time. A phone call will be enough. Just a phone call. You don't have to go and hug him. Maybe you hate him so much. You don't have to go and invite him in his house because you can't stand his guts, But at least, just make that watering down. Ya akhi, this is dunya. We are going to akhirah, and I'm going to forgive you, brother, for that. Okay? By the way, these are to do with things like, minor issues. Not to do with, he is a liar unto Allah, liar unto the... That's person. Keep your boycotting to him. Don't worry about this night, inshallah. You're not being required to go and settle your account with these people.